Dear friends, on behalf of all the members of Overman Foundation, I welcome you all to the 5th Auro-Ratna Award ceremony. Ever since its inception in March 2010, Overman Foundation, which is an online research institute dedicated to Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, has attempted to recognize the invaluable contribution of all those individuals who have worked tirelessly for the Aurobindonian movement. Accordingly, the Auro-Ratna Award, named after Sri Aurobindo, was started in 2010, and the first recipients of this award were Amal Kiran, Aurobindo Basu, and Jugal Kishore Mukherjee. In 2011, the award was given to Dr. Kirit Joshi, Dr. Prithvendra Mukherjee, and Sri Robi Gupta. In 2012, Dr. Prema Nandakumar and Shraddhavan of Savitri Bhavan, Auroville, received this award. And in 2013, the award was given to Dr. Ananda Reddy. Dear friends, it gives me immense pleasure to announce that the Auro-Ratna Award for the year 2014 would be presented to our beloved Shobhadi, Ms. Shobha Mitra, for her contribution in the field of music. Born on 14th December 1933 to Amarendranath and Ashalata Mitra, Shobha Mitra visited Sri Aurobindo Ashram for the first time in August 1942. At the age of 17, on Wednesday, 15 June 1951, she joined the ashram with her mother. Initially, she was given work in the publication department under Prithvi Singh Nahar. In 1952, she was made a permanent inmate of the ashram, and she joined the ashram school when its new session began in December 1952. From 1957, she started teaching French in the ashram school. She had learnt music from Dilip Kumar Roy and Shahana Devi. As an accomplished dancer, she gave several dance recitals before the mother. She had also given dance form to Sri Aurobindo's The Hour of God in 1964, and also composed the dance drama The Rhythm Eternal, which was staged thrice in May 1967. She has also played a pivotal role in organizing musical programs of artists like Birendra Kishore Roy Chaudhary, Tara Ghoshal, Jyotsna Bole, Chandralekha, and Pankaj Kumar Mallik, to name a few, who visited the ashram. On Shobha's birthday in 1965, the mother asked her to start a music section in Sri Aurobindo International Center of Education, which she built up from scratch. Inspired by the mother, she also began to compose music. In 1972, on the occasion of Sri Aurobindo's birth centenary, she conceptualized a special program titled Sri Aurobindo and the Mother on India and Her Future. In that very year, a long-playing record of her compositions titled Loving Homage was brought out by Sri Aurobindo Society. For quite some time, she conducted singing classes in Auroville. Her memorable compositions include Durga Stotra, Invocation to Mother India, Salutations, Invocation, Adoration, Matri Puja, which includes songs of Govind Nishikanto, Loho Pranam, All We Owe to Thee, India and Her Future, Esho Gahi Gan, songs in Bengali for children, Aspiration, Towards a Luminous Future, Om Namo Bhagavate, hymns of T.V. Kapali Sastry, Towards a Luminous Future in French, for the installation of a statue of Sri Aurobindo at UNESCO in Paris, Century Salutations, Pujar Orgho, Anjali, Vandanam, songs of Pujalal, and Our Gratitude. Some memorable musical compositions of Shobhadi performed at the ashram are as follows. The Story of Creation, the mother's story dramatized for the 1st December program, The Rhythm Eternal, performed for the special darshan of 4th May 1967, Orgo, performed before the mother, a musical journey around the world which includes songs in 25 languages, India and a Future, which was which was organized in 1972. And for this program, she got an offer for world tour, which due to some reason, the mother refused. Bharatvarsham, Janmabhoomi, Towards the Future, again during Sri Aurobindo's birth centenary, The Mother, during the birth centenary celebrations, A Call to the Young, compositions based on the mother's prayers and meditations, To the Mystic Fire, Surya Namaskar for 2nd December program, Glimpses of Indian Music, for which she got an offer from the Films Division of India to make a documentary based on the program, but Pranubda refused. Kandari, a poem of Niruddha set to music, and lastly, Sharanam Mama, songs of Vidyavati Koki. In 2012, Shobhadi's first book in Bengali, Srimayar Dibbo Sannidhye, was published, for which she got the prestigious Sri Aurobindo Puruskar from Sri Aurobindo Bhavan, Kolkata. The English translation of the same book was published in 2013. Some time ago, she has started working on a project titled Ma, meaning Musical Archives, which would house songs composed on Sri Aurobindo and the mother in various regional and foreign languages. Art is generally created keeping in mind the philosophy of art is for art's sake. But Shobhadi belongs to the rare class of composers who create not merely for the sake of art, but for the sake of the divine. Music is her medium of doing the sadhana. And that is why her compositions are so unique. They not only touch the heart, but the soul as well. So, it is our privilege that we have got the opportunity to felicitate Shobhadi, whom the late MP Pandit had called a worthy child of the mother, with the Auro-Ratna Award named after Sri Aurobindo. Now, I would like to request Manoj Das, Sri Manoj Dasgupta, Managing Trustee of Sri Aurobindo Ashram Trust, and also the chief guest of today's program, to say a few words about Shobhadi.
I don't think Anurag has left anything for me to say because he has said everything. And for me, it is a little awkward and embarrassing to speak of someone who is practically a family member. Shobha, I say Shobha, not Shobhadi. Well, we have grown up together. I remember we used to have the same music class with Dilip Kumar Roy and Shahanadi. But what is amazing, while I was hearing Anurag, really we don't take into account all the things that have been going on in the ashram quietly in one corner. But you have seen the achievement of Shobha is something outstanding. And what I am practically appreciate and thankful to Shobha, that you see, after Dilipda and Shahanadi, there were various music teachers, what comes to my mind, like Tinkorida, and many individuals, Ramenda in the music. Shunilda, of course, was a thing apart. I mean, Shunilda is Shunilda. He is for the music of the future, as Mother has said. what I found and appreciate in Shobha, not only she has a good grounding in Indian classical music, and but the way she has trained practically any student you name in the Center of Education who has learnt music, singing, they have been a student of Shobha. And she has done our work very quietly, not with any fanfare. So that is what is very much appreciated. But what I personally like of Shobha's compositions, I seem to have a glimpse of influence of Sunilda's music, that there is an opening to the new music which Mother has been speaking of. There is certainly the influence of Mother's music. In many of our music, if you listen carefully, you'll find many of the chords reminiscent of Mother's music. And that is the main thing for me. One must have a good grounding in the classical music, is true, but in our Center of Education, we are looking forward to something new. And Shobha has done her job, is doing her job. Thank you.
Thank you, Manojda. Now, I would like to request Krishna Di, respected board member of Obermann Foundation, to say a few words about Shobha Di.
Dear Shobha Di, no words can express what alchemy your music does to me. I can only say what I feel. It stirs the heart, the soul, and the thirst for the light and the love of the mother. Because your music carries with it your love and dedication to the service of the mother, and that is what I feel whenever I listen to your music, the stirring of the soul for some more light and love for the mother.
Thank you, Krishna Di. Now I would like to request a very special person who is very close to my heart, Deepshika Di, to say a few words about Shobha Di.
I really feel so nervous because, first of all, let me acknowledge that I feel great today among the greats, sitting beside Manojda. I couldn't imagine. Occasion is Shobha Di is the great. Oh my God, it really unnerves you. Our dear Anurag, told me to speak something on this occasion. Since I'm not a speaker like Manojda, just gets up and then the flow just comes like that, I jotted down some points, certain things. It'll be a little boring for me to read those, but don't worry. Just concentrate on the content. They are my feelings and my experiences of Shobha Di. Okay, I'll just read this out. As Manojda said, I also wrote right in the beginning, it is very difficult to say something about somebody you have been so close to for the last more than 4 decades amongst us. And I have been so close to her, like many, many of us, that like in the ashram you feel, since we are all living together, that we know each other or we know about each other. But when it comes to Shobhadi, I always felt that a part of her, somehow or the other, she didn't let me know, or maybe she didn't let anyone know. Somewhere you knew her, but still there was a bit that was veiled from us, you know. Very sweet and tender, extremely friendly, as she has always been. But several times I and some other friends also felt that she was a little too strict or too rigid, if I can use the word, about certain things. Perhaps it was not necessary. We used to feel, you know, we have known her since we were in our early years. But then, as Anurag said, her book, when in 2012, Mayer Dibbo Sannidhe, and I was so fortunate she gave me the book. And when you go through the book, it was only then that the secret that, you know, that, as I said, that her personality was a bit shrouded in mystery for me, a part of her personality, that kind of got revealed after you read the book. Everybody always obeyed her, we all did, all her instructions and advice with deep respect and love. Such has been her kind of an awe-inspiring personality, you know. Very firm and steady from within, even though she has been so petite and delicate in frame. But questions were still there. In her life, after reading that book, I understood for myself, perhaps she never ever did anything without the permission or guidance of the mother. It had been a lifelong guidance for each and every small and big, serious or non-serious, spiritual or mundane, intense or ordinary. Every thought and feeling, every emotion and sentiment was put before the mother. It was then that I understood why she did not like or encourage certain kind of music, because mother did not like those. How to conduct, you know, the little nitty-gritties, how to conduct rehearsals, programs, strict discipline with intense aspiration, day after day. How she tuned herself to the mother's guidance is most fascinating to read the account. Almost a daily or weekly record, written record, so authentic and original that it really touches us most profoundly. How the mother taught her to expand her consciousness, to become more receptive, to exercise her will and inner determination, including how to bear physical suffering and illness, etc., etc. We learn mother's ways of dealing with us. You know that Bengali song, it reminds me, Amar hath dhore tumi niye cholo shakha, ami je potho jani na. This was Shobhadi's intimacy with the mother, who indeed led her by her finger. She was chosen, as just now Anurag mentioned, as an instrument to set up the music section in the ashram, and her journey of yoga was to be through music only. This was not easy, to say the least. It was an arduous task that needed deep surrender. How she was given the necessary strength and how the mother prepared her, I should rather say chiseled her inch by inch with her grace, is an incredible story of high sincerity and surrender. These accounts are our invaluable treasures. Before Shobhadi, Manoj Das Didi Pritidi's book totally inundated us. I'm sure all of us have read it. With the mother's grace and her immeasurable love for her children, these books do not speak of any philosophy or psychology. They project our individual sweet mother of love, as she was one among us, the mortal ones. These books make us feel her tangible presence when we read them. Many have told me, after reading Preetidi's book, and two persons have also told me recently after reading Shobhadi's book, that their very relationship with the mother had changed. Mother became so much more intimate to them only after reading Preetidi's book and later Shobhadi's. How many times we have cried and wondered and closed the book and felt her presence so close to us. What else we are here for? Only to experience this, isn't it? Shobhadi, my deep gratitude to you for your precious contribution to posterity. Among the many ways that Shobhadi was graced, as we know from her multifaceted experiences, little bit our Anurag has already traced out what not she did. She was a painter, she was a wonderful calligrapher, she was, of course, as a musician we know, a wonderful composer. From dance, drama to orchestration, what not she has done. When you read the book, then you get to know all of it. I don't need to say. Those of you who haven't must read. Perhaps the first books, how do you say? Prints are over. I think the second prints are yet to come. But it is absolutely a must. One of the ability that was opened in her or revealed to her was the ability to compose and write, perhaps. The original scores in Hindustani ragas. She did not know anything about it. In fact, when she was teaching music, when she was given the music section, when all her songs were finished, whatever she knew, her stock of music was finished, one day she went and told the mother that, what am I to do now? Then mother said, well, you create your own music. She said, I don't know much. I've never done that. So, and well, we don't know what mother gives to whom at what time, but that Midas touch was put into her or given to her. And that particular fine day, after the mother told her, she was put in contact with the world of Sur or Shruti. Waves after waves of Sur started invading her being, bursting forth from her as if she did not know how to contain them. Such was the grace of the mother. We all know, I don't need to say, nor do I have time, about the hundreds and hundreds of songs that she has written, and even many, many more that she has composed. I shall close my appreciation, if you may say so, with singing two lines from one of Shobhadi's compositions, which I absolutely love. And I mean, we love so many of them, as Krishnadi was saying, that it really touches you so deep, so very deep. But one of them, I know this is not a musical forum, it's a song in Bengali, and it's basically in Rag Basant. Basically, because there is a little bit of Todi notes in the Antara. I'll sing the first two lines only. The words are, Alokito jhonkrito ridhi momo majhe, it's on the mother. Tomar modhur dhoni baje, mago momatamoyi, dharoni sajile aaj tomar agomoni saje. Alokito jhonkrito, a very rough translation. Radiant and filled with, say, resounding splendor, Ridhi Mamo Majhe, in my heart, Ridhi Mamo Majhe Tomar Modhur Dhoni Baje, or rather, my heart rings with your honey sweet dhwani vibrations. Mago Mamata Mui, O my sweetest compassionate mother, Dharoni Shajilo Aaj Tomar Agomoni Shaji. The whole universe has decked up, or decked itself up, Tomar Agomoni Shaji, to celebrate your advent. This is the rough translation of these two lines, right? আলোকিত ঝঙ্কৃত হৃদি মম মাঝে তোমার মধুর ধ্বনি বাজে আলোকিত ঝঙ্কৃত হৃদি মম মাঝে তোমার মধুর ধ্বনি বাজে মাগো মমতাময়ী ধরণী সাজিল আজ মাগো মমতাময়ী ধরণী সাজিল আজ তোমার আগো মনি সাজে আলোকিত ঝঙ্কৃত হৃদি মম মাঝে তোমার মধুর ধ্বনি বাজে তোমার মধুর ধ্বনি বাজে তোমার মধুর ধ্বনি বাজে
That was wonderful, Dipshika Di. Now I would like to request Shilpa Di to come here and say a few words about Shobha Di.
Music is the language of the soul, says the mother. Every year, Shobha Di made us students of vocal music write this quotation on the first page of our notebook. These were not mere words, but living seeds planted by Shobha Di in us at the tender age of 12, by the example she is, by the loving guidance she gave and continues to give, stressing always to go beyond skill and talent, to express that something from deep within and offer it to the divine. As teenagers, we had the privilege of having Shobha Di as our teacher for vocal music for 10 years. Though she tried to appoint other teachers for us, we insisted on learning from her alone, and we managed to do so. As young adults, we were fortunate to participate in many of her musical compositions, which express her ardent aspiration to the Lord and the Mother. And even today, our musical journey continues under her guidance. For Shobha Di, at no point of time has it been music for music's sake alone. It has always, at every step, been music as an offering of oneself to the divine. Music as an expression of the divinity within. How blessed we feel to have been nurtured under such an inspiring example. It has been an influence not only in the field of music, but in life itself. Today, we feel honored and grateful that our dear teacher, friend, and guide, Shobha Di, is given this award for her unique and dedicated contribution to music. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Shilpadi. Now I would like to request Munnada to please come here and say a few words about Shobhadi.
Namaskar. First of all, I congratulate both Mr. Anurag as well as Shobhadi for this wonderful occasion which has been created because of dedicated work of decades. It doesn't happen in a day. When I was asked to speak here a few words, I knew that there are smarter people who will be before me and not smart enough. A few points that I had noted have been already talked about rather extensively even before I come here. So I'm really scratching my head what to say. So what I decided at the last moment as I was listening to Shilpa and Dipshikadi, particularly Dipshikadi, who gave me some time to think, is that I would rather share a few personal contacts with Shobhadi. First of all, I never thought that I'll have to come to the stage one day related for a program related to Shobhadi, where I would neither be playing the tabla nor singing. Anyway, I'm extremely happy that this is happening. I started playing the tabla for Shobhadi's program since I was rather young. And I had this bad habit of always coming on time for rehearsals and then get extremely irritated when the others come late. So Shobhadi was so well organized, she never really forgot the individual strengths and weaknesses either. So at the end of a day's practice, she would announce that tomorrow's practice at such and such place at 7:30. Munna, tumi 7:45 esho. I'll never forget that because it just not showed what I was. It showed more of what she was. You know, that she really took care of these little things, the strengths and weaknesses, as I put it, which finally helped the organization, which avoided the irritation in the tabla player, etc. A second thing that I remember with Shobhadi is that her openness to all kinds of music. When Anurag said that she did a program which had 25 languages, that didn't surprise me at the least. When I came to the ashram, I was already 12, but because of some amount of music in my family, I was already exposed to quite a bit of music, but it was mainly Odia music. And there were not very many people at that time probably who really did music in Odia. And she would always encourage me to sing Odia songs in programs or to prepare Odia choruses which the others would join in, just to show another facet that, she was always open for newer, both vertically and horizontally, as far as music and songs are concerned. And one last point, which fortunately has not yet been dealt by anybody, which probably everyone knows because ashram is a small, close-knit family and there is really no secrets here. But this is an occasion where I would like to convey my gratefulness to Shobhadi for the wonderful work she has been doing, and particularly which she has initiated. It's been more than 15 years now. That's the adult education in the ashram in the evening, which has nothing to do with music. Music could be a part of it, but any number of adults associated or who belong to the greater ashram family, they come and they study various subjects, and that really adds to the quality of life of the people and to their direct understanding of the mother and Aurobindo. One gentleman who was from Jamshedpur, but he used to live here, at age of 92, he joined the adult education classes. I will never forget him in my life. He's no more. Probably 4 or 5 years back, he passed away. But then at the age of 92, such was the magic of this adult education and so much it had to offer to all of us, that people tried to always get into this and complement whatever they already knew so that their life becomes fuller. Thank you so much, Shobhadi.
Thank you, Mundada. Now I would like to request Maurice Bhai, a unique translator, to say a few words about Shobhadi.
Just as I was coming in, somebody told me that in order to make a speech immortal, you don't have to make it everlasting. So last night, I had already noted something. Because I stand here as a stopgap, I am replacing somebody who was supposed to come, but who could not, or probably who played a bad prank on me. So I'm here this morning before you, neither as a musician, nor as a singer, and not even as a writer. I'm here simply as a grateful witness, a witness of the Mother and Aurobindo's grace over an event that is directly linked with Shobhadi. And I think the setting too is most appropriate for me to share this event with you today. The event I'm referring to was the installation of Aurobindo's statue at the UNESCO headquarters in Paris on 16 September 2009. Quite naturally, I was deeply moved to be among the 4 privileged persons selected by Shobhadi to take her composition to UNESCO for this occasion. The Indian Council of Cultural Relations, Government of India, had approached Manojda for something with which to mark this extraordinarily symbolic event. And the ashram requested Shobhadi to come up with something appropriate. So we got down to, in earnest, to help Shobhadi in whichever way we could. She began with a selection of Sanskrit hymns and mantras that were to accompany her musical composition. Shobhadi's musical composition began emerging gently as she wove around it Vedic hymns, shlokas from the Gita and the Upanishads, along with some significant extracts in both English and French from Aurobindo and the Mother. She had accepted the challenge first with a lot of trepidation, but always with such grace and humility that the composition began taking wing. This was the first time that Shobhadi was composing for such a diverse international audience. Towards a Luminous Future was her name for this offering. And it emerged as a 30-minute composition in her distinctively experimental style of music that sought to transcend the traditional Eastern and Western modes of expression in order to touch a space that was universal and common to all of us, and which lovers of music from anywhere could resonate to. Our rehearsals became moments of intense joy and outer dedication in Shobhadi's wonderful presence. And the four of us, Anurupa, Harinarayan, Joy from Auroville, and myself, endeavored to find that inner space of oneness and truth in order to communicate what we had to convey for this exceptional occasion with a happy and effective inner conviction. As a biographical note on Aurobindo was also to be distributed to this diverse audience at UNESCO in Paris, Christophe and myself, we decided to put our hearts and heads together to prepare this note. The novelty of the task lay in presenting Aurobindo to people who were not disciples or devotees. And we were more than happy to take up the challenge. Right from the word go, there was that enthusing feeling of joyful service and flawless harmony between all of us. And I personally felt inwardly uplifted as we worked on this very special mission that had been assigned to us in total trust. And at every step, their grace shone through. The way things organized themselves, the way all kinds of difficulties were overcome, with help and understanding from Manojda, from the trustees, from everyone around. Towards a Luminous Future was a unique achievement because Shobhadi had managed to get Aurobindo and the mother's vision and consciousness across very powerfully without ever mentioning them by name. And thus, this whole religious or propaganda quicksand was marvelously sidestepped. I'm sure this was something that the Master would have heartily approved, especially considering the kind of audience this offering was addressed to. Our rehearsals happened both in the ashram and Auroville at the Bharat Nivas, which again, for me personally, is very symbolic. Jean, the Auroville sound and light in charge, and one of our former teachers at the Aurobindo International Center of Education, helped us with these technical arrangements. And then, as we were nearing D-Day, another miracle occurred. Just as we finished burning the master CD of Shobhadi's music on the 9th evening, the entire power system burnt out in the recording studio. Everything disappeared from the computer, but Shobhadi's musical score had successfully slipped out onto the master CD. The biographical note on Aurobindo and the accompanying text of the musical composition were printed at our press, and these two turned out beautifully in their conciseness and simple elegance. As the day of departure for Paris neared, we felt more and more conscious that the Mother had deputed us as her little ambassadors to UNESCO. We were taking Sri Aurobindo to the Mother's city of birth. What an enormous privilege and responsibility this was at the same time. Everything kept unfolding in such amazing fluency and naturalness that their presence became more and more palpable, and our gratitude for that presence more and more intense. In Paris, we were received by our friends with such warmth and hospitality, and the home we stayed in was big and beautiful and large enough for us to remain in that state of inward receptivity. We were able to practice our offering every day in this house, in the most wonderful of mood and atmosphere. When we were not rehearsing or sharing with our friends, eager to know about our life at the ashram, under the loving care of the mother, we went to visit places that were connected with the mother's life in Paris and around. And on the eve of the program, I took my team to the Basilica or church of Sacré-Cœur, which means Sacred Heart, on top of a little hill called Montmartre. Now here I need to tell you a little story. One of the mother's young boys had left the ashram in 1961 to go to Germany to study sports medicine. After spending some time there, this person was so overcome by a bout of homesickness and an irresistible longing for the mother that he sent an SOS to the mother, asking desperately for her permission to return to the ashram. The mother replied at once and advised him to go to Sacré-Cœur in Paris. Quite significantly, this basilica had opened in 1914, the very year that mother left France to come to see Aurobindo for the first time. On receiving the mother's letter, this gentleman boarded a train for Paris and reached the mount overlooking the city. As he entered the vicinity of the Sacré-Cœur, he suddenly felt as if he was enveloped in the mother's warm physical embrace. That sense of homesickness that had been eating into his heart magically faded away. And in her comforting presence, he regained his old enthusiasm and inner joy. Now, this very same gentleman came all the way from Italy to Paris to witness the event of the installation of the statue of Sri Aurobindo. And it was after listening to his story over lunch one day that I decided we should all go to the Sacré-Cœur on the eve of the event. And quietly we arrived there, sat there for some time, and tried to bring her into our being in that light, happy air, almost as if we were paying homage to her presence there. Then 16th September dawned. I woke up feeling, it was very interesting, I woke up feeling exactly as I used to on the day when I would go to see the mother on my birthday. There was a kind of a feeling of a darshan. Trying to remain in that state of concentration, unfortunately, we skipped the installation ceremony of Sri Aurobindo's statue and went straight to the auditorium where the musical offering was to take place. A very large crowd had gathered in that vast auditorium. UNESCO dignitaries, diplomats, intellectuals who did not know much about Sri Aurobindo, writers, artists, simple French friends and admirers of India, and a good number of disciples and former students. The lights in the audience faded and the spots on the large stage came on. We felt as if our prayerful hearts and bodies were being uplifted in their presence, as the deeply moving organ chords of Shobhadi's music filled the hall, and the powerful words of the mother in Sri Aurobindo reverberated in the air. And then, as the last notes of Sunilda's 1972 music faded into a palpable, soul-stirred silence, the air felt charged with that fragrance of the new consciousness that Sri Aurobindo had striven all his life to bring down. For a few minutes at least, we, the participants, and the audience were granted the joy of getting a whiff of that luminous future. Infinite gratitude filled our unbelieving hearts. Thank you, Shobhadi, for giving me this most beautiful darshan in 2009.
Thank you, Monis bhai. That was lovely. Dear friends, now we will present Shobha Di with the Auro-Ratna Award. First, I would like to request Krishna Di to present Shobha Di with the Angavastram. Then Manoj Da will present Shobha Di with the trophy and the certificate.
I have no words to say anything. My deep gratitude and pranam to Sri Aurobindo and the Mother for the blessings I have received today. Also my love and good wishes to Anurag and all those who have participated in today's program in any form. The talks were extremely inspiring for me. I would like to conclude the program with a short recorded music from Salutations as my offering to Sri Aurobindo and the Mother.
Namaste Yogi Yogendra Shri Aurobindo Te Namah Sarvashruti Shiroratna Virajita Padambuja Vedatmambuja Suryoya Shri Aurobindo Te Namah Jnana Shakti Samarudha Tattvamala Vibhushita Mukti Bhukti Pradata Cha Shri Aurobindo Te Namah Mamasi Jivanam Mamasi Daivatam Mamasi Chakilam Satyo Bahusha Kritavatarano Vedadirakshapara Tretayam Nijadhana Ravanamari Durvadala Shyamala Radha Prema Paro Vilasa Kushalo Gita Prado Dvapare Soyam Sarvagunanvita Prakatito Deva Aurobindo Kalau Deva Aurobindo Kalau Namo Devadevaya Devadevaya Te Namah Divya Divya Swarupaya Divya Rupaya Te Namaste Paramam Brahma Namaste Paramatmane Nirgunaya Namastubhyam Sadrupaya Namo Namah Sarvabhutatmabhutasyam Sarvadharam Sanatanam Sarvakarana Kartaram Nidanam Prakrite Param Om Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashlakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah